Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Sapienza.
Here.
Payton.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Mayor Harrell.
Here, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, presentations. Do we have any presentations? Okay, public comment on agenda items. I have a public comment card that needs to be filled out for agenda items. I have I can't really read it, but it says J.A. something debates. Mr. Debates. You have box 143 where?
McNabb, Illinois.
Where at?
McNabb, Illinois.
McNabb, Illinois.
Are you a contractor, Mr. Bates?
Yes, sir, I'm a general contractor.
And you bidded on a project of ours?
No, sir.
Just here to give us some information, I take it.
About the pool, splash pad. I've been working with an architect that did the Lake Wildwood situation. It's a 30 by 75 pool. Excuse me, I had run out to my truck. His name is George. He did the Lake Wildwood pool complex. So what I wanted to speak to you about is you guys have $1.5 million on the agenda where we can do an entire pool complex with a splash pad for $1.7 million with prevailing wage contractor.
And George told you this, and you're
Yeah,
an expert on build. How many pools have you built?
3.
3, and you've done in public pools, and you have experience in this, and you can do it for that amount of money?
Mm-hmm. So my comment to you is we've polled a lot of your citizens in Peru, and 80% of the people we polled want a pool, not a splash pad. Because the splash pad's only good up to 5 years of age.
But where's the poll? Did you have a poll, a vote or something we weren't aware of?
We went through and called every number we could in Peru. We got responses on most of them. This was over a 2-month period. Because there's a big issue in your town about this pool and the splash pad. And your constituents want a pool in this town. And the amount of revenue a pool will attract versus a splash pad, there's a huge amount of money difference. You know, you can take the whole family to something versus 5 years old and down to a splash pad where everybody can enjoy it.
What do you mean money-wise? You're losing more money if you have a splash pad, or?
You're not going to get the kind of attendance to a splash pad. Do you know what ages a splash pad serves?
Yeah, I'm well aware of a splash
Okay,
pad.
so what ages does a splash pad serve adequately?
Probably pre-teens, preschoolers, families, great deal families.
5 years old and down. If you manage to call any of the architects that build pools and splash pads for a living, out of the 5 that we contact in the state of Illinois that are licensed to the state to do this, they say it's 5 years age and down. Because what preteen wants to go in 6 or 7 inches of water and splash around?
I would say it would matter as far as what your amenities are, what type of splashes you have, what type of differences, water cannons and different things of that nature. I think that has more to do with the age than just the concept of a splash pool.
I'm interested in the poll that you took. How many people did you call?
Over 400.
Okay, and we had a referendum on the agenda for the whole town, and it was 60-40 against.
Okay, and how many people voted on that referendum?
Uh,
Votes?
2,200.
2,200? All right.
So you called everybody you could in the city of Peru.
Yes, sir.
Is that going like through the phone book?
Yeah, because it's really hard to get a phone book with cell phone numbers.
Okay, I didn't get a call.
I didn't say we called everybody. I said everybody we could.
Well, I have a landline,
I understand that, Tom.
right? And I got no phone call, no one's ever asked me my opinion about it. But I just wanted to clarify that, you called.
I didn't say we called everybody. You have well over 3,000 phone numbers to call. You know, so all I'm saying is I urge the board to think about what they're going to do when they're spending that kind of money, of the taxpayers' money, because it's not yours. It doesn't come out of any of your pockets.
Or yours.
It doesn't come out of mine either, no, it doesn't. But you wanna think about what brings bigger revenue. Is it gonna be a full pool, or is it gonna be a splash pad?
Is-
My thinking bigger revenue, I think you're gonna have, if the splash pad has everything the size of the splash pad, I think the amenities, the themes that we're having with it, I think you're going to have a radius of a lot of people taking part of that, and you're bringing in a lot of outside people with basically no, staff cost to the city, as opposed to having a swimming pool where you have naturally a staff cost.
Right.
You have so many days a year that you can use the swimming pool. You have a cost of upkeep that's much greater than a splash pad.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't see that argument as far as from a revenue basis, you'd be better off with a swimming pool. I don't buy that.
Well, it's up to you guys, whatever you decide. But just remember, you're spending somebody else's money. So you really wanna try to do what's best to bring revenue. I mean, we're losing businesses at the mall. You know, we're not bringing in a lot of extra revenue. So you wanna do something that LaSalle has a pool, Spring Valley has a pool, a lot of these towns have pools, so you really wanna think about that.
Something
You want a
different like
core.
splash pad. I think you get something different like a splash pad would be much more creative in bringing people in.
It'd be creative, whether it's profitable or
Bring-
not, that's another story.
Either.
Huh?
I don't think you scare away industry or anything. Like you mentioned, a splash pad.
I don't think it scares them away, but it's not one more extra thing on your niche to say, hey, Peru offers this as well. You gotta look at what you offer for a town. I mean, this is a good location, Peru's an excellent location.
We're aware of that.
So you gotta look at the extra things you can add. What extra things can you add? Why should Joe Blow down here move to Peru? Why should he move to Peru? Then answer that question. What's
Is
in
this
the
the
best
first council
interest?
meeting that you've been to?
No, sir, it isn't.
The first one in Peru, though?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Because we talk all the time about what to do to draw people to the city of Peru. We're on the 50-yard line with 39 and
Right.
80, and we've got interest in that area. We've got the hotels torn down.
Right.
We're doing an
I see
excellent
that.
job. In our opinion, this splash pad being extremely handicap accessible and being baseball themed, and the donations that we have in place, including public money, that it will be a draw from an hour away to people to come. It's not gonna be a rinky-dink little thing. It's gonna be a top-notch facility. In our experience, we lost money on the pool. And we lost money because of maintenance and staffing, and it's open 60 days a year.
Right.
And I don't see your argument, I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right, I just wanted to.
No,
Aaron,
Aaron, did you,
I'm gonna provide some clarity to this issue.
Please do.
And for, you, sir, your comment regarding, the cost of maintenance, and then the initial cost to build the splash pad. By the way, I'm Eric Carls, the city engineer. I've been
Nice to meet you.
extremely involved in this project since the onset here. Came on with the city 3 years ago. I've done extensive research as to what the city's looked at previously and then the direction that we move forward with this project. In that research, I know the city, prior to me, investigated the construction of a pool, and the numbers that were thrown around were north of $4 million. In my experiences in 15 years of engineering and dealing with various municipalities, that is a true number. Moving forward with this project, we had a lot of positive feedback with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and an open space land grant that they issue. We went down, first year that I was here, we made a presentation. In order to get that money, that grant money be awarded for a project, there's uniqueness involved. As you know, splash pads aren't in every community. This splash pad, the uniqueness, is on another level. We're not only the largest baseball-themed splash pad in the Midwest, we're probably the largest themed splash pad in the country, baseball. In addition to the theme, we're gearing this towards an all-inclusive splash pad for children. Now, would I recognize your comment on children at the ages of 5 or younger use splash pads? Certainly, but I think you need to look at the footprint of the splash pads that you're discussing. They're probably more in the neighborhood of 30 by 100 foot. This is a 15,000 square foot splash pad. The amenities there, range from teenage children down. We have certain areas for ages 5 and under that are quarantined off, if you will. And then on the inclusive side, we've been working with a company, the provider who's going to be putting in the equipment. Each of the features are geared specifically to play to all children with all abilities. So it's going to have different textures, different sounds, different colors. So if you play to autistic children, deaf children, blind children. I mean, this is going to be a destination type pad for, as one of the aldermen said, for a large radius. In addition to that, I'll comment on the dollars. So I broke this contract up into 3 separate contracts. Contract 1 being utility site improvements, contract 2 being buildings, and contract 3 being the splash pad itself. I just want it to be clear that when we're talking $1.7 million on this contract, it's $1.7 million for a 6-acre park, not a splash pad, okay? We're doing a lot of infrastructure improvements that I identified that we would otherwise do in another project and coupled them with this project so the city could get a better price. So if we want to break it down really far, I've got water main improvements in here, I've got sewer extensions, I've got parking lot improvements that we would otherwise take on in another project. Okay, certainly. So in all, yeah, is a splash pad, you know, in your opinion, maybe not good use of city funds, but I think that the way that it's being portrayed isn't correct. It's not a $1.5 million splash pad. Like I said, it's a $1.5+ million 6-acre park. And certainly, we have identified an area within the park for future expansion of a pool. I think that the council is on board with, you know, that will always be there. It'll be something that we will explore if funding becomes available. But at this point, with the donations that were given, with the grant that we received, and the direction that the city wants to go with the splash park, I personally think it's an excellent project. And I personally think that it's going to be utilized highly. And I think that you'll see, and I mean, I welcome you and I welcome the architect that you're working with. If you guys ever want to come in and sit down with me, I certainly will go through the numbers, I will go through the planning, and I will show you what's all included in this project. And I think that you'll see that maybe your view of the project is a little bit skewed.
All right.
So respectfully,
Right.
I offer that.
All right.
You know, the one more thing that I'd like to question is, I wonder if you didn't call 400 people that support your candidate to get the answer that you want.
Well, I don't know the people that well in this town, so I can't tell you who they support. That's not what we called about. We called about, do you want a pool or do you want a splash pad? That's simply all we called about. I don't care about their political views, because the problem with that is then you gotta listen to too much about what I don't want to hear. I don't know if you want a pool or a splash pad. That's all we called about. We care less their political views.
Yeah,
We're always gonna get somebody on political
where
views.
were you the last 3 years when we were planning this out?
I've been to 2 meetings in the last 3 years.
And you didn't have any opinion, I know you're from McNabb and you're worried about the city of Peru spending money for a splash pad, and this has been going on for 3 years, but suddenly you show up tonight. I'm just curious, good time to be off tonight?
Tonight to vote on it, that's why I said that.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's why you have an open meeting. If it was a closed meeting, nobody could show up.
Okay, we're starting to get repetitive here. Do you have anything new to bring up? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. DeBates. Okay, do we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file? So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I wanted to point out the sales tax report for the month of December. You'll see that the city brought in $1,069,000 and concluded the year with a $10 million, $346,000 in sales tax. So it was a very good year. It eclipsed last year by just a few $1,000s. So it was a good year for sales tax. We hope that, again, will continue.
Anything else? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file?
So Second, Your Honor.
I don't know who the motion was. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Just a little information. At our water treatment plant, we treated 71.2 million gallons on the wastewater side. At our east plant, we treated 73.7 million gallons. At the west plant, we treated 25.7 million gallons. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, instead of going to committee, I'm going to skip around a little bit here and go to report city attorney ordinances resolutions so that I know that Ms. Spire is here and have places to go, so we'll do this first for you.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I have the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing held on March 29, 2017 concerning the petition of Allison Spire, DMV, Matthew Spire requesting a tax amendment, special use for property located at 1016 7th Street. The petitioners request a tax amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow for a special use as a veterinary hospital in a R3 single-family and two-family residence district zoning classification. Petitioner stated that she has owned and operated a veterinary hospital in a residential neighborhood in McNabb for several years with no complaints from neighbors. The present building on the property is a former medical clinic and fits all of her needs for a veterinary hospital. There were no objections from any neighbors. It will be used solely for, there will be no outdoor housing of animals. The animals will be housed overnight for medical reasons indoors. There were no objectors at the hearing. And Member Lucas moved and Member Miller seconded the proposed text amendment, read veterinary hospital including indoor boarding only with sound barriers approved by the building inspector. And the motion passed unanimously.
Your Honor,
Alderman Ferrari?
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission and place them on file and concur with their recommendation.
We have a motion and a second to receive the minutes, place on file, and concur with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
And going with that, I have an ordinance granting a text amendment adding special use section 10.04C17 to the zoning ordinance allowing for a veterinary hospital in R3 zone district with that same language.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to receive the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff. Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Makosas. Radke. Sapienza. Payton.
Aye.
Ballard. Motion approved.
And also going along with that, an ordinance granting a special use under the zoning ordinance for the city of Peru as sought by the petition of Allison Spire, DVM, and Matthew Spire concerning property located at 1016 7th Street, Peru, Illinois.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Makosas.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Finally, I have a resolution establishing the commercial facade improvement program within the city of Peru, Illinois. We discussed this program in the program guidelines and procedures at our last meeting. This is to award grant money for commercial facade improvements along the Route 6 corridor and Peoria Street between Route 6 and Sheen Park Road. It will help reimburse expenses that are made for improvements to the facade to increase the overall attractiveness of the facade and the buildings in those areas.
Your Honor, I will make a motion that we accept the resolution as written and read.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read, or the resolution as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I just wanted to point out that this is another economic tool for the city of Peru to help those businesses, particularly the small business area of 4th Street and Peoria Street. Along with the TIF, I think this program will be very beneficial in the future for the city of Peru in those areas.
Any other discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor,
Alderman Ferrari?
before we move on, Allison, I'd just like to welcome you to the city of Peru, and Bob, you got anything you want to say, or?
No, I think Allison would like to address the council.
I just wanted to say thank you for your time and consideration. We're pretty excited to be coming over this way. So, hopefully, August, September, we hope to be open somewhere in that range, so.
You are more than welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison. You're going to be busy. Okay, then at this time, we're going to table the next ordinance that's on the agenda. So we'll move to committee reports. Chairman Putoff, Finance and Safety Services.
Alderman Radke will handle our disbursements tonight.
First thing, Your Honor, are disbursements. So total disbursements to be paid on April 5, 2017 are $1,278,794.93. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner. I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, placed on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, we have an agenda item tonight. I'd like to make a motion to approve a $10,000 contribution to the Illinois Small Business Development Center. And really, this is an investment from the city of Peru that helps with area-wide economic development. You have a group of professionals working with small businesses, kind of an incubator to get them going. It's been a very beneficial program in the past for IVCC. I think it's a wonderful tool, and it will be in Peru on 1 day a week and housed at the West Clocks building. I know it will definitely help out small business, and just a little bit of help from the city will go a long way. So that's my motion tonight, Your Honor.
I'll second that motion.
Alderman Payton? Yes. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the $10,000 contribution to Illinois Small Business Development Center. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to add just one thing on this. This is something that the city of Peru has done in the past, and as Alderman Putoff said, having them in the West Clock building is planting the seeds of an incubator, which is great news for the city of Peru. And like I said earlier, kudos to West Clock building.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a $4,000 donation to the Peru Boys Little League and the Girls Softball League for a period of 3 years. That'd be $4,000 to each for the next 3 years. These funds are coming from the cell tower funds. We receive an income from the cell tower in Washington Park, and that is what this money is being used for.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the $4,000 donation to Peru Boys Little League. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a $1,000 donation to the Voluntary Action Center, the Meals on Wheels program. Again, this is such a tremendous program, and the support the city can give on this is just very, very well needed.
I will second that too, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to approve a $1,000 donation to Voluntary Action Center, Meals on Wheels. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve $1,000 donation to the Better Kids Fishing Expo. This is for the expo that they hold at Baker Lake every year, and this is something we've been doing since day one. I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve a $1,000 donation to the Better Kids Fishing Expo. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd also like to make a motion to approve a $1,000 contribution to the Peru Maud Powell Arts Celebration. Again, this is something we have been donating to since day one, and it is held right here at City Hall.
I'll second that also.
I have a motion and a second to approve a $1,000 contribution to Peru Maud Powell Arts Celebration. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I'd just like to say that this donation includes Alderman Ferrari's strong back, because he's the one that lifts the bleachers and sets the bleachers up and then takes them down and...
With the help of the council members that are...
So heal up.
Okay, is there any further?
It's also Maud's 150th birthday this year.
There going to be cake?
Yes.
Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Engineer Perry, do you remember Maud Powell when she graduated?
Motion approved.
Your Honor, other business as far as Finance Committee, the budget is online, so residents can take that look online for the upcoming budget year. We will vote on the budget on April 17th. Basically, it's a balanced budget, continues advancement of the reserve fund, further funding for the reserve fund, and it also includes appropriations for millions of dollars in infrastructure improvements, including a number of items that we have on the agenda tonight. So again, that will be voted on the 17th. If you have any questions or concerns, we've been meeting on this probably 3 or 4 different meetings. The finance officer can take you through it if you have any additional questions. That's all I have in finance, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chairman Putoff. We'll move to Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Thank you, Your Honor. Alderman Ballard, would you lead us through the first 3 motions?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to authorize execution of IDOT highway permit for Area 3, Phase 2.
Have a motion and a second to authorize execution of IDOT highway permit for Area 3, Phase 2. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the execution of IDOT highway permit bond for Area 3, Phase 2.
I'll second that.
Have a motion second to authorize the execution of IDOT highway permit bond for Area 3, Phase 2. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
And the resolution to allow installation of storm sewer and related improvements along US 6, which is part of Area 3, Phase 2.
Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution to allow installation of storm sewer and related improvements. Is there any discussion? What is that, Eric? Do you have a brief explanation? Do you have a brief explanation of that?
The highway permit is any time where we have any improvements that are happening inside of a state roadway, which is under their jurisdiction. We fill out the permit. Now they're currently requesting that we also provide them with the permit bond. We do this on any of our infrastructure projects where we're in and around the state right away. as well as every time we repair a water main, something of that nature, when it's in state right-of-way, we also submit these highway permits and then pass the resolutions to executing them.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Lowry. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, we have a motion to award the bid for the Area 3 Phase 2 Combination Storm Sewer Project to the lowest responsible bidder, Ski Incorporated, in the amount of $1,638,195.24. This includes two bid packages. The base bid is $1,349,958.24, and the alternate bid of $288,237.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
We have a motion, a second, to award the bid for Area 3 Phase 2 Combination Sewer Project. Eric, would you give a brief explanation of what the alternate add-on is?
Yeah, I'll give explanation on the project as a whole. Basically, this is our annual IEPA mandated sewer separation project. The base bid portion takes care of total reconstruction of Peoria Street from Route 6 heading north to about 8th Street, where we left off with Peoria Street Phase 1. Encompassing in that base bid total reconstruction, we'll be replacing all the water main along that stretch, as well as installing new storm sewer in order to separate the storm and the sanitary. And then we will be constructing a new concrete pavement surface, as well as drive approaches and sidewalks. And that's the base bid portion. The alternate bid portion is work to be done one block either way of Peoria Street on 7th Street, 6th Street, and then one block east on West Street. And that'll be separating the sewer, so constructing new storm sewer, and then repaving, resurfacing the streets. So last year we did the block east on 5th Street, so that's where Area 3 Phase 1 left off. And in all, we had 7 bidders. The total bid spread from 1.6 million to roughly around 2 million, so very competitive and a really good turnout.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Lowry. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the 2017 General Fund Street Program to the lowest responsible bidder.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion, a second, to award the 2017 General Street Fund to the lowest responsible bidder. Is there any discussion? Have a roll.
Know who the lowest responsible bidder is and the amount.
Eric?
We had a bid opening was held this morning at 10 a.m. and then I analyzed the bids. We had 2 bidders. The low bid was Universal Asphalt and Excavating, and that bid was in the amount of $452,336.91. And this is our annual street program project, so the ward work that we do. We'll be starting this project hopefully fairly soon. This project I anticipate taking probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 4 to 6 weeks, so it'll be relatively quick.
Any other discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Lowry. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius. Radke. Aye. Sapienza. Aye. Peyton. Aye. Ballard. Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the 2017 Flash Park improvement to the lowest responsible bidder. Now, I've got 3 contracts that I'll be including in this motion. Contract 1, SKI Incorporated, in the amount of $503,711.25. Contract 2, to RL Soho, in the amount of $563,000. And contract 3, to Leander Construction Incorporated, in the amount of $730,000. Eric, do you have any more you would like?
Yeah, I can, we'll recap. Contract 1 is some site prep work as well as infrastructure improvements that we otherwise identified that we could couple with this project to hopefully get a better price on them. So they would have been projects that we would have done outside of the scope of this work. Contract 2 is the building contract, so that's the restroom facility and pump house facility, and also included in that contract is some decorative fencing, things of that nature. And then contract 3 is the splash pad itself, so the splash pad and all of the equipment that's associated with the splash pad, so the piping, the pumps, the features, everything there. So
I did have a question, Eric. On contract 1, the site work of $503,711. Now, if we weren't proceeding with a splash pad, that work still has to be done, is that correct?
Yes, so in that contract, we have, some parking lot upgrades over there to a city-owned parking lot. We've got some water main that needs to be replaced that otherwise would be replaced as part of one of our future sewer separation projects. We have some utility extensions that would have to happen, some storm sewer work, some sanitary sewer work associated with sewer separation, as well as making that site a constructible site. So there's quite a few items, and you can keep going with some curb replacements and sidewalk replacements and roadway repairs that are all lumped into that contract 1. As I said, you just identified the fact that we could package all that together in one large project, hopefully get a better bid on that stuff. Thank you.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, just to reiterate the timing of some of these projects, the first 3 motions are for the sewer separation. And we were mandated in 2011 to start with this sewer separation project, and we've been going through the city doing this on a yearly basis, starting with the southwest end of town and moving to different areas across the south of town, and now moving north and then back to the east. The combination storm sewer project, again, is a mandated project. The general fund street program is a project that we do every year, and that keeps our roads in fine shape. There's a lot of work done and a lot of work to be done. And the splash pad, Splash Park, was not put on the agenda tonight without a lack of thought and forward thinking, and all of these projects are good for the city. Eric, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you summed it up really well. Obviously the 2 that you hit on that we do annually, and then of course the nice upgrade to the former Washington school site and the construction of that new park for the city. Yeah. So I think it's going to be received as a very positive project.
I agree.
How many years approximately are remaining on the sewer separation?
We're approximately 15.
15 years to go. So you'll pretty much see every year somewhere in the $1 to $1.5 million worth of sewer separation work for the next 15 years.
And so everybody knows on that as well. When I came on 3 years ago, we identified that we also have an aging water distribution system, and it made sense as we were talking about splash pad bids. It would make sense at certain times to package other items in other projects. So in this instance, it made sense that we treat the sewer separations more as a total reconstruct, where we can reconstruct our water mains at the same time we're mandated to do the storm and sanitary sewers. So basically, we're not going back and tearing up a new roadway that we just put down. We're fixing everything underneath that roadway at one time. So that's extended our time period, and that's also driven that cost up in the last couple years, and was in the onset, if you will, so the first couple of years of the project. But we're attacking it as a total reconstruct with the thought that when we're done, we're done. We don't have to go back to that location.
So really,
Eric, also, as needed, sidewalks and curbs.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so really that entire older part of town will have almost all the infrastructure rebuilt.
Yeah, it'll be all
over
new.
the next 15 years.
Yes,
in
all
that
new
regard.
storm sewer, all
Yeah.
new water main, new roadway surface, and, you know, where needed, new curb and sidewalk.
Anything else?
That is all from Public Services.
Okay. We'll move straight to unfinished business because we went through the ordinances resolution. So any unfinished business? Hearing none. Any new business? Hearing none. Do we have a motion to receive the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month and place on file?
So move.
Okay, we have a proclamation. Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among people throughout the community. Now therefore, I, Scott Harrell, as mayor of the city of Peru, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2017 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in Peru, Illinois, and encourage all citizens to support the Youth Service Bureau of Illinois and learn about its many programs and resources in our community. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. We have a motion to receive the Junior Achievement Day proclamation and place on file.
So moved. Second.
Whereas the city of Peru recognizes junior achievement of the Heartland's purpose to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. Now therefore, I, Scott Harrell, mayor of Peru, do hereby proclaim official recognition of the April 6, 2017 as Junior Achievement Day in the city of Peru. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Any, let's see, okay, we'll move on to petitions, communications.
Just one, Your Honor, communication from Bob Huber of the Baker Lake Kids Fishing Committee requesting permission to hold the annual Baker Lake Kids Fishing Expo on Saturday, May 20th. It says 2017.
I'll make a motion, we grant permission to have it.
We have a motion, a second, to receive the communication for the Baker Lake Kids Fishing Committee requesting permission to hold the annual Baker Lake Kids Fishing Expo on Saturday, May 20th, 2017. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I wonder if they're aware that that is the same day that the TBM Avenger and Salute to the Veterans event is going on at the...
They are.
At the airport, they are.
Yeah, I talked to them about it. A lot of wheels in motion for this particular event,
Okay.
involving their donations and IDNR stocking of fish for that event. So they commit a year out, basically.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. No further petitions, communications?
No, Your Honor.
Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Anybody? Anybody with any public comment? No public comment, no closed session. Motion for adjournment.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.